Hi, I'm Bassett. Welcome to my monthly segment, Women in the Arts San Diego. This month I'm interviewing Becky Guttin. Originally from Mexico City, she's been living in San Diego for the last 15 years. And she is currently in an exhibition at the Low Gallery in Barrio Logan called A Tiny Space of Silence, here through September 22nd. So we're going to go chat with her now.
Okay, my name is Becky Guttin. I am originally from Mexico City. I have been living in San Diego already for 15 years, and I am an artist. I am also a language teacher, but I don't practice that anymore. In my art, I deal with different issues, but mainly what surrounds me is what makes me do what I do. I collect for many years objects or trash. Maybe trash is not the right word, but for many years I have been collecting or picking up objects or materials that I find interesting and that I like, and not always I know what I'm gonna do with them right away. I just take them to my studio and they have to live with me in my space, and then the right time comes when I pick them up and I know what to do with them. Opportunity to become something different and to have like a new perception when people look at them. Like sometimes I have seeds or roots or scrap of different kind of metals, aluminum, iron, copper, or I have also a glass, pieces that are just leftovers for other people that for me they become my primary material. So time is very important because they have served for something and then they just start to have another life when I pick them up and when I have them with me. So if you want me to tell you something about this show, I feel that these pieces have the time mark on them. They are like residues of periods, different periods, and it's like when you see a roasted metal, you can feel that time has been eating that piece of metal. So these pieces are not metal, but they could look like metal and they have been eaten or rotten in some parts.
So do you feel that the objects that you find are more important in your process than working with the same kinds of materials or mediums, like always painting, for example, or a lot of welders tend to continue to weld? So do you find that in your process what's more important than sticking with one medium is actually finding these unique objects?
You know, it is not that I am looking for objects. It's not that I go out and I want to find objects when I go out. It's more that I think they find me, because I'm not looking for them. I can be walking, I can be in the beach, I can be just visiting someone, and then I am walking and I trip with something and I said, oh, this is interesting, and it's not that I'm looking for that. But I have these encounters with these materials or objects, and I don't know what to do right away with them, as I was mentioning before. And this is not that this is more important, but this is just the way I am. I am very free with my work and I have no rules, or I don't have to do always the usage of the same materials. That's why I have dealt with so many different materials, because it's depending what I want to do with each material and what I want to say. It's not that I have to stick onto one material forever like some other people do. I am more free with my work because I feel that we are all different every day, so I don't have to keep doing always like the same thing or using the same materials.
So I was wondering, since you said you didn't like attend art school, you studied some other things, so what was it that brought you to become an artist? Like what got you started making artwork?
I'll tell you, this is something funny. When I finished high school, in Mexico, You have the Universidad Nacional Autónoma de Mexico, which is it was then, that was many, many years ago, very large university. We had another private university, and they had these super thick books with all the careers there. But then there were not as many options as today. Today you have so many specialties and so many new careers. So I remember reading this book of all the careers, and okay, no for sociology, no psychology, no accountability, no lawyer to be a lawyer, no doctor. So I remember I finished the book and I said, oh my God, what am I going to do? I just don't think I want to spend so many years of my life when you don't feel passion for something. And I have facility with learning languages, so I decided that I was going to become a language teacher because I like to teach and I like children very much. So I became language teacher, and after teaching some years, I asked for a sabbatical. But what I was not aware that I grew up with art because my father is a painter. So we had art 24 hours, 7 at home. So that was like osmosis, I was getting art, and I had an artistic education all my life, but I never thought of becoming an artist. That was part of my everyday life. When we would travel, we would always visit museums, and artists would come home, and my father had also these groups of artists working with a model in his studio. So that was something like the everyday life, nothing special. And I decided when I took the sabbatical from teaching languages that I was gonna start doing some art by myself. So I took a space and I started by myself to do art, to deal with sculpture and with drawing, and I never went to an art college. And that is about 42 years ago that happened. And since that day, I never went back to teach in the school. Like the director would call me after a year, okay, the sabbatical is over, are you coming back? And I said, no, I'm into art.
I found a new passion.
Yeah. So I like very much in all my pieces, not only in this show, but also in the previous one, the texture. I sometimes like the contradiction of geometric with organic, and also the difference of processes. When I have materials that are made out of machinery and technology, and others that are like natural roots and they are like more organic. So I really like texture and the contrast between materials. So I wanted to give here this sensation that the material has been eaten. And
what kind of materials are in here?
This piece is made out of fabrics, plastic, fiberglass, different kind of fiberglass, resin.
And how do you lay all the things if you're using resin and glue? How do you lay it down so that it can separate out into this wall piece here?
Well, these pieces take a long time to be done because I work like by layers, and usually I work on the floor. So I'm working not only with one piece in my studio, and you're very welcome when you want to come to my studio, but I'm not only doing one piece. I like to knit a lot, so I am knitting constantly sacks with metal. That's something that I always do. So sometimes I start with one piece, and while it's getting dry, or while I know what I'm gonna do next, I go to do something else, or I go and I start to draw, or I do some jewelry, or I like to cut glasses and work with glass and metal at the same time. So I am very open to do different things at the same time because I am not always sure what I want to do with the pieces and how they will look at the end. I was talking about freedom before. I am very free with my art, and I don't restrain myself to do what I feel. I may have an idea at the beginning, but I allow myself to keep changing because I see some things that I may have not seen or thought before. And if there is like something that I didn't expect. I tried to learn out from that and continue being very open and having discoveries as well.
And are you wearing some of the jewelry that you make?
Yes. In fact, I worried because yesterday I was here with Megan. She told me, "Aren't you wearing anything of your jewelry?" And today I brought some jewelry, and I said, "Oh, I'm gonna wear." And I wore, in fact, two, which I never do. I always wear like one or just none. But as I brought today,
They're so
I'm
nice.
wearing this one and
So
this
these are beads, and
these are beads made out of marble
wow,
and silver,
wow,
twisted silver. And these are glass pieces, and this is a piece made out of silver that I made it on wax, and then it went to cast.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Do you teach some of these techniques in your out of your studio?
No.
I'm sure people would love to learn them.
Maybe one day, but
Yeah.
I don't teach. I did had some summer workshops for children, but I did clay. I taught clay with them. And not really taught clay. It was a very free workshop where I would have some projects and I just taught them how to work with the clay, but it was more like a
Material exploration.
Yes. Okay, so this piece is called Residue of Motion, and in fact the previous piece is called Stain of Memory. So again, going back, it's these pieces that have lived already, and it has some pieces of memories maybe, many kind of and different kind of memories. The other one, this one, I have always dealt mainly with sculpture, and I think this is the first time in so many exhibitions and so many shows that I have done that I have more kind of pieces on the wall than sculptures on bases. And I needed, after working all these pieces that are more flat, even that they have some volume, I needed to come out of the wall and give them volume. So I have here two pieces. One is suspended from the ceiling, and this one, like, it wants to come out, and it's the same material that it may look like metal, but it's not. And
yeah, it looks like aluminum or something.
It has its very important texture that I wanted to give, and some cuts and holes and movement, which is very important as well in my work, and that it leaves like a free reading for the people, or free. People, when look at it, can think whatever they want. I don't intend to send any message or any specific form. It's like a free, I don't know exactly how to say, like
free association.
Exactly, like there is no form, or there is not like a fish or a face or a woman. It's abstract, and so it's a free association, like you said. I think it's the right word.